Hello, hello, it's your friend Doublebite, and we're back with some more Game Maker. My voice sounds a little harsh, actually. I don't know what's up with that. So it's 4 in the morning, so I'm not going to do this video very long, but I'm still awake, so why not? So I did a lot of work off screen, so I'm going to show you what I did, and then kind of go through how I did it. And then maybe I'll make one or two more things, or yeah, I'll probably just keep it to just showing what I did and explaining it. I think that'll be fine for this video. Be a little quicker one. So first of all, let's see what it looks like. So now I got the grass burning to work. And you can see once it burns to a certain point, it becomes cracked earth and doesn't burn any further. I also improved the water effect so that they now orbit the mouse. So if you look, I cannot rehydrate cracked land, but I can rehydrate land that is not totally destroyed. Now I'm actually going to set the burning effect slower, but this was just to show you the cracked land effect. I think it's pretty neat. I also set so that Q exits the game to make my life much easier. So I'm just going to do one thing quick. Right now this destroy event is actually there. I want to move it to here. How do I destroy self? That is a good question. No. Let's go to our handy dandy Google. Cool. Okay, so here we have some code, so let's see what it does. So this is our water grass code. We check our current position to see if there's grass, and if so, we get that grass object. And if we got some grass, and the grass's health is... So health works inversely right now. So if it's above 0, means that it's taken damage. I should have called it damage instead of health. That'd be smarter. And if the damage is less than 50, we're going to lower the amount of damage. And then there's a chance we'll destroy the water after it has been used to hydrate. So that should work. And then every turn it only has 1 in 5 chance of watering the grass. So I hope that was clear. Okay, so summary. If a water drop is above grass with a 1 in 5 chance, try to water it. And if you water it, What am I doing here? I fucked something up. Okay, that's right. Okay. So, we're going to check to see if there's grass under the water. If there is, we're going to check to see if it needs watering. And if it does, we're going to heal it a bit and then potentially destroy our own water drop. So now let's check the orbit mass effect. We get our center. We have these variables. And we update the position. So what this is saying is every turn, our angle is going to change. It's going to go from 0 to 360, looping around. And then we're going to put it somewhere around the center point. And the create is where we set our orbit and angle. So it's going to start at a random range away from our mouse. It's going to start at a random angle around the mouse. And it's either going to go rotate clockwise or rotate counterclockwise. When it creates, it goes to our mouse automatically. The fire object works kind of similar. It jitters, jumps to random positions, and then every step it has a chance to burn the grass. So it gets the grass underneath it. If there's grass underneath it, and the grass has less than 50 damage, it'll do a little bit of damage to the grass. Now we've tweaked the values back. Let's see how this looks. So we've got a nice water ball going. As you can see, it's damaging the grass a lot more slowly. And we can clean that up pretty damn fast, but we'll run out of water. So we'll get our water back. Pretty good. Uh-oh. So again, pretty simple right now. The fire is not being randomly generated. It's placed on the start of the map so far. So I'm actually finding it really satisfying to play this game, actually, which is, I guess, a good sign. No, no more fire. Well, I need to set it so that fire can't leave the map. But yeah, congratulations, we've just cleaned everything up. And now we can bring our lawn back to its former splendor. Wow, this is actually really satisfying. On just a very silly little level. Okay, enough fixing the lawn. So yeah, so I've got our core mechanic down pretty much. Neat. Now, I'm not going to do, it's already 4 a.m. because I'm just horrific at life. So I don't want to do anything too fancy, but I want to create kind of our enemy. So first, let's get rid of our little fire sprites. Let's try to get rid of our little fire sprites. That may actually prove somewhat difficult. That's going to be somewhat tricky. Fuck. On account of they're real small. And there are many of them. Okay, don't save those changes. Yeah, I'm going to cut out the part where I completely fail to delete my goddamn sprites. Okay, that's just embarrassing. Wait a minute. Nope. Ah, this should work. I did not know you could do that. So, did it actually work? Congratulations, we beat the game. There is no more fire. Nailed it. Okay, so for the Okay, so let's think of some ideas for what we can make our enemy look like, because we want an enemy that's going to spawn fire. Okay, I have an idea. So let's duplicate this and just make big fire. Edit sprite, transform, scale. Why did that not make it bigger? Stretch maybe? Ah, this will work. Let's make it 32 by 32. And origin of 0, 0. And now, our fire enemy object. And create fire HP to 100. Now I have an idea. We're going to see if this works, because I'm not sure if it will. But, okay, so one thing I didn't show you in the grass is I was trying to do some fancy shit. This is a fancy way to draw sprites. That idea won't work. Never mind. Cancel idea. Yeah. I might try that idea later. Anyway. So, fire object. So see how it's saying all of this? Fire enemy, we're going to set its parent to fire object. So that means that everything that parent to fire object. That means everything that fire object does, fire enemy will also do. And if we create a new event, it will override that. So fire object has an event for step and water object. And actually we don't want either of them. Never mind, I just tried to get fancy, but it's 4 AM, fuck it. Okay, keep that sprite, no parent, go away. So fire HP, add event, collision with water, fire HP to -1, relative, and fire HP, if it's less than or equal to 0, we're going to destroy this. But let's have some fun. We're going to destroy this, but we're also going to have it explode. Now we want this to be at 1616 because our origin is at 0, 0, so that will point it right in the middle. I don't really know how repeat works, I never really use it, so we'll see if this works. That should be cool. And add event a step. It'll be a 1 in 10 chance that it makes it fire. Again at 1616. And now we want to behave kind of similar to a fire object. So we're gonna copy this event. Oops. And then it's going to do constant damage, but much less. Why? I just feel like doing that. Okay. And then actually we're going to do one more thing that we should have done before, which is other outside room destroy self. Fire, oh, and then it's gonna get confusing. Fire enemy, outside room, destroy self. And now let's add our fire enemy. What? Okay. And let's see how this looks. Okay. So it's definitely spawning fire correctly, but it's not visible because we need to set the depth to -1, I think. Grass is at 0, so that should work. Let's see. Yep. So now it's going to jitter around, spawning fire everywhere. Well, let's go try to stop it. So it's spawning fire at a very fast rate. And the exploding into fire effect is not very dramatic, but pretty nasty. So I think right now what I want to do, again, this is not supposed to be a finalized game or anything. I want it to be a little less jittery. So let's yeah, I want it to be a little less jittery. So rather than jump to position, let's have it move towards the position and is that what we want? No. Other way. Oh god, I'm tired. I need to be in bed. We're only going to have it do that 1 every 4 turns. And let's lower the chance of it spawning fire. Okay. But instead of just creating an instance, let's make it more interesting than that. Create fire at 16, speed, So we'll spawn a lot of moving fire. Now, currently our fire jumps. It doesn't move with a speed. Its speed is always 0. So we're going to add a create event to give it friction, which is in our default move thing. So, but what friction does, it just lowers the speed by this amount per step until the speed is 0. So I think this will work. I just changed a lot of things, and I'm really tired. Well, it escaped on us. Let's go back to jittering. That should re-establish jittering. If a bit smoother, maybe. What are you doing, thing? Did I fuck something up? Fire enemy, move towards point, relative. That's what I missed. Okay, relative always means space is relative to yourself. Okay, so now it's spawning at a slightly lower rate. And let's see what happens when we destroy it. Poof. See that? It sploots them out in a nice range. But I want it to be even way cooler than that. 50 times. Okay, so now I've got our enemy. It's spawning fire. When we kill it, it explodes into fire. That's a satisfying explosion, I like that. Okay, so let's think about this game so far. We've got enemies spawning. We've got the central mechanic. I like the mechanic so far of having to go back to summon more water. But it does feel a little bit bad in Crysis. You know, I feel like there's going to be lulls in the game where you really wish you just had some water. So, let's think about something else we could try. We could have it so that the fountain can shoot water towards your location, which would be cool, but then you never need to go back to the base. So there'll need to be some drawback to that. We could have something that just controls the spawn mechanism. Let's just see this again. Right now I'm just trying to think of what next. We have an enemy. We have the means of defeating the enemy. We have the enemy's death behavior, which I think is pretty satisfying at this point. I feel like also the rate of damage it's doing feels pretty good. I might actually increase the rate of water healing, but water healing also gets a bonus based on how much water you have. Yeah, again, right now I'm just thinking game balance things. So for fun, see, we're already at 24 minutes. Wow, time flies when you're tired. So what we're going to do right now is a quick thing. We are going to make it so that you get water 3 times as fast. And we're also... Oh, that's so irritating. Place a few more fire enemies to see what happens. And just for kicks, instead of destroying them when they go outside the room, let's have them jump to a random position in the room. That might not come up, but I think that's cool. Alright, so now we're going to wreak some havoc. So one thing I'm seeing is that them getting destroyed is almost as bad as not destroying them. Oh, and if they group up, that's nasty. Okay, so with 4 of them, I like our increased water rate. I think that's pretty effective. When I design games, I feel like I like to leapfrog. I don't like to spend too much time on graphics, too much time on gameplay, too much time on scoring. So all of these things are important, but you can get tunnel visioned real hardcore if you try to do one thing at a time. One thing I strongly recommend, don't skimp on graphics early. If your game looks like crap, it will, honest to God, make you not want to work on it, and then you'll feel bad about it. That's one thing I've always run into, is that try to make things look at least kind of good as early on as you can, because it will make you feel better about working on the game. And that's really important. So in this little test, it seemed pretty good. We only lost 1 square. We took a reasonable amount of damage, so I feel like I like the increased water spawn. That's working for me. We definitely lose water pretty quickly, but that's okay. That's kind of what we want. So overall, I'm kind of liking where this is at. Let's just do one more test. It's important that I'm having fun playing my game, as simple as it is, as early on as it is. If I was doing a game jam with this, I would want to add a scoring system, like a rudimentary scoring system. But otherwise, I'd be happy to release this. Just maybe fire on screen time thing. And I think I'll do that in the next video, since I'm pretty tired. But I think what I'll do right now is add a very rudimentary scoring system to this in its current form, and then maybe release it for y'all to give it a go if you'd like. Yeah, I think that could be cool. Nice. Alright, I'm going to call this an episode. Hope you enjoyed. I always say didn't make that much progress, but we got to think about what the next steps are, which I really appreciated. Do a little testing, and make this more into a game, We're getting from tech demo to game, which is always a satisfying process. I'm going to go past that now, hopefully. Fingers crossed. So hope you enjoyed, and until next time, Double Byte out.